Hello, Awards Watch listeners and readers. No, this is not Eric Anderson. Eric's off probably interviewing somebody else or editing or, relaxing, doing things that we all know Eric Anderson to do. Maybe sending a really funny tweet. I am Ryan McQuaid, staff writer here at Awards Watch, and I have the distinct honor of interviewing one of the best writer-directors we have working today in Mike Mills, who is the director of the latest film, Come On, Come On, that stars Joaquin Phoenix and Gaby Hoffman and Woody Norman. And the movie, of course, is about when his sister asks him to look after her son. A radio journalist embarks on a cross-country trip with his energetic nephew to show him life away from Los Angeles. The film won the Mill Valley Audience Award earlier this year and is also one of National Board of Review's top 10 independent films of the year. It's also just one of the best films of the year in general. And this is the follow-up for Mike Mills from his last film, which got him an Oscar nomination for Best Original Screenplay for 20th Century Women. And the film before that, Beginners, garnered a lot of critical attention, including also the late Christopher Plummer's Oscar win. Mike Mills is one of those people that you'll hear in the interview is one of the most genuine, sincere, kindest people I've ever spoken with. This movie absolutely wrecked me in so many ways, and I believe is another masterpiece from this great American treasure that we have in film. We sat down, we talked about this film in the process of making it. We talked about the overarching themes that make this bigger than just a uncle-nephew story. And then, of course, we had to talk about Joaquin Phoenix, Gaby Hoffman, their relationship. But then, of course, the find of the year, Woody Norman, who is absolutely amazing. I implore everyone to see this. It's distributed by A24. It's in theaters now. It's one of the best films of the year. So this is my interview with Mike Mills. Hopefully you enjoy it. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Yeah. My dog's trying to sit with us. But anyway.
It's all right. Mine's sitting like right over there.
Mine's right here trying to get up in here. Yeah.
I just want to up front tell you this is one of my favorite films of the year.
Oh, that's so nice to hear.
And I saw this back at the Middleburg Film Festival, and I saw it towards the middle of the afternoon one of the days, and I couldn't get it out of my head the whole day. And I cried and I just, it's one of the most beautiful things I've seen in quite some time. And
so nice.
It's just the truth.
Really nice to hear.
It's just the truth. And I love,
sweet. That's really, no, I could tell, I could feel that. It's really,
and I love all your work. And so I just wanted to, up front, this movie is sort of a kinship to your uncle, and 20th Century Woman is a kinship to your mom and everything. And so I know it's a silly question to ask, but are there other planned vehicles you have for your family members down the road that we don't know about? And if so, when are we getting them? Because they're all fantastic.
That's a funny question. Well, I mean, this one's it's my kid, and I made the uncle to sort of as a way to talk about my kid, but it's me and my kid. No, that's a really $1 million question, actually, that me and my therapist are working on right now. I've kind of run out of immediate family members that I feel like I can write about, and I really do love having someone I can look at and who I love, and who's also like got some deep mystery or challenge to me that I need to make a film to kind of try to hold on to the thing I don't understand better, Mm-hmm. And I like it being about someone else. And so I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. The dog might make its way in. I don't know. I guess I've already done that.
I was going to say, you already did that kind of. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Just going to have to meet somebody and be like, all right, you're the next film.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to do, to be honest.
No, but I like that you take your time, and then it's not rushed, and then we get these, dare I say, masterpieces every 4 or 5 years, and this one in particular, I just I've only seen it once, but everything about it is vivid in my mind, and it's more just about what's on, the dialogue being said by the characters, also the visual. way that you tell the story. So are you aware of like how you want, or when you're writing it, how you want to see it?
Yeah.
And is that, or does that change as you're writing it, or as you're blocking it, or whatever? Like
I
how's
hope
that
it's always
process?
changing, right? And I hope
Mm,
I keep writing through the edit. I hope I'm always getting smarter. And I feel like these kinds of films, especially, they're kind of long bombs. Like yeah, I have a good sense of what I want it to be like, and increasingly, I have like a kind of confidence of like what I think I can pull off. But if they're not a long bomb, why do it? If it's not like a guess, or like a hope or like a huge prayer, films are kind of too big and too important to like just know what you're doing.
mhm,
like it's got to be like a wild exploration to try to discover some new land a little bit. And then but they really do change. And me and my partner Miranda often say like, at the beginning of a film project, you don't have the brains to finish it. Like you literally don't know how to do it. And then through the whole process, the very long process, you kind of build the brain that enables you to finally complete your film. But it's like a long, multi-yeared experiential situation that involves all the other people that you work with. Um, so that's, I don't know, it's kind of like a yes and no answer to that.
mm,
Yeah, I feel like I do have a strong sense, but it always surprises you. You're not in control of your films. I feel
mm.
like as a writer director, even your films are kind of like the spiritual entity that comes out and has its own wants, needs, desires, things that it shines with, and things that are weak about it. And it's your job to kind of like figure it out and then toss it to the world.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. And then you have these almost brutally honest conversations throughout the film between Woody and Joaquin. And I'm always interested in, because you're such a great screenwriter, but these two actors are so wonderful in this movie.
Mm.
How much of it is all on the page, and how much are you allowing them, as they're getting to know each
Mm-hmm.
other during this project, to experiment with
Mm-hmm.
conversations, with jokes, with thoughts
Mm-hmm.
that they might themselves as actors be experiencing while doing the project?
Yeah, well, that's you kind of just described my process. That's the goal. I mean, it's very written. I spend or years writing it, and then me and Joaquin. That's how I got Joaquin into this. Is like we would just go over the script for months and months and months, and I didn't know if he's doing the film or not. But all of his thoughts and intelligence and contributions was so great. I didn't care. It's like you're just making this better, and it's really fun to hang out with you. So we kind of wrote a lot of stuff together, or just kind of processed a lot of the stuff, right? But then I think it's especially because I write very personal things,
Mhm.
but I want to share it with strangers, right? So it's my job to like infect the actors with it, collaborate and get the actors to be co-authors with me, like so that it is alive for them, so that it works for an audience that or a room full of strangers, right? That's my job, you know. So, and I love that. I do. Yeah, to me, like the short answer to your question is, I think it's like, I'm gonna guess it's like 70% my words, like as written, and 30% it's my script, it's my scene, but they do play with the lines. You know what I mean? And then often at the beginning or the end, there is like a total invention, like often at the end, you know what I mean? Because they kind of got through the scene and they know they're done with the scene, and then someone does something really funny. Um, but that 30% that's theirs is disproportionately important, because it creates a whole process where people are really listening, creates a process where I'm inviting them to bring their full self, their history, their emotions, their intelligence to the set every day. And also, each player doesn't know exactly what the other one's going to do at any given point, right? Or they're alive to like, oh, the ball went over here this time, let's chase it, you know. And I love that. I love like Mike Lee. I love, there's so many directors. I feel like early Milos Forman, I think, did this a lot, and it does give the film like a effervescence or like a carbonated feeling to it.
Yeah, no. And I mean, you have these, like I said, these honest conversations, but then what I also found really interesting about the film, beyond just their relationship, and we'll get more to that in here in a second, is the ideas that the central premise of what Joaquin Phoenix is doing as a journalist here in this film, and how that hit me the most. The fact
Mm.
that we're trying as a country in our most turmoil time, as you're filming this, you're doing this during, the pandemic, and you're asking
I shot right before. I
right
shot in
before.
2019. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
but
Still,
but
to
editing
me,
it and putting it
yeah,
together and everything during
yeah,
then,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And so
yeah.
and so you're asking in the film the future of this country that you live
Mm,
in, what you want to see this country during. I mean, we've had so many ups and downs of the last couple of years. It's the lightest way to
mm,
say it.
mm-hmm.
Um, when you were writing all of that, how much consciously are you using the future to vessel your thoughts that we struggle with as adults? Because I find that to be the most fascinating thing, is you're using children and the most, who we would be at our most vulnerable, to express our most insightful thoughts.
Yeah. Well, so I started writing this after Trump. After I started writing this, to me, this film is very much a reaction to the Trump election,
Yeah.
and that sea change in American, like not American unconscious, but American conscious. Like I feel like all this stuff came out into the surface, and like how do you be an artist in that turmoil, or in that sort of like churning attempt to have an authoritarian regime, a totally racist authoritarian regime, totally misogynist, racist, backwards authoritarian regime. And I don't have any great answers to that. That's something I still struggle with, and like stops me in my tracks 6 days out of 7, And um, but those, so to me, it does, funnily, their answers are like, just even asking that question, their answers, the seriousness of all those things really resonate with our world right now, and our sensitivities after going through this last 2 years together, right? But it totally, it's a 2016 movie to me in a way. You know what I mean? It's related, and by 2016 I mean that election and everything that is embedded and implied in that. And but those things overlap to me, right? I feel like they're kind of a piece, right? It's like one wave of our history that we've been going through. So I kind of feel like we're in Weimar Germany, right? And I made a film that's like about 1929,
Mhm.
in the Weimar metaphor, and who knows exactly what's coming next. But I think it's a time of utmost seriousness, and my film doesn't even come close to like capturing that or whatever. It's just my little movie, but that world was really weighing on me.
No, but I do think you hit it right on the head. I mean, I'm sitting there and it's sad,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but it's beautiful too,
No, it is. I agree with you though.
because of the
Yeah,
awareness of our
yeah,
future. Like
yeah.
this is the future. And so I'm, not to get too personal, but I'm kind of curious, are these conversations you're having at home with your child, and
Um,
or are these sort of just in the script, and because
no, no, there are conversations. My kid's 9, so a lot of all the stuff is coming up, and we listen to the radio. My kid
yeah.
loves radio, so a lot of heavy things are in. We had to process or deal with, um, but they're heavy for anyone. It's really funny. So I really, the interviewing the kids is one of my favorite parts of the film,
Mine too.
because it's them, not me.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoy like other voices and decentering myself, and like including like a lot of other things. Like that's my favorite thing to do, really. And I love it. And they're so awesome to me, like the kids, just the kids, right? Their voice, their intelligence, their willingness to be vulnerable, all that. So great. As time has gone on from when I shot that in 2019, end of 2000, beginning of 2020 till now, I have more and more odd feelings about asking kids what they think of the future, because I think the stakes have just actually gotten more from when I shot to now.
Mm.
I don't know if I would do it right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a loaded, it's almost a coercive question to ask a kid, like what they think the future is going to be like right now, right? So I've grown increasingly like humbled by my audacity to ask all these kids in front of their parents and stuff that question. I kind of question it now. I wonder about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think if we even ask ourselves that internally, what's going to
Yeah.
happen next week, we
People
can't
love to
even
ask
process
me
that.
that when I do Q&As. No, people do, then they go, Mike, what do you think the future is going to be like? And now I start to just cry. I have to admit, it's so heavy,
Yeah.
and the things that are at stake couldn't be fucking heavier. And I don't have the wherewithal to have an intelligent, informed answer, nor do I feel like I have the emotional intelligence to really say something that's like that helpful to everyone, or like kind of give space for our processing grief, pain, whatever it is. Um, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going, but it's like, I feel like I pointed at something and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And I mean, I think it's just you, like all of us, trying to figure out how to find answers. Cause I think right now I'm like you saying, I think we're all trying to find answers, and it's really tough. And yet
Yeah.
also too, while you have this movie with these big themes, you then also have this story about a family trying to come together in a
Mm.
time where everyone's family seems to be pulled apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I find and that sort of speaks to those themes. So
Mm.
I guess to speak to that, was that conscious as well too when you're thinking about that as the family
I th-
dynamic? I
I mean,
mean, obviously it's a big part of the film, but is that
yeah,
more to the big themes as well too?
I think in all my films, it's really like if there, I think all families at all times are on the precipice of coming apart. And that's
Mhm.
just natural and healthy and happy. Or they're at the precipice of like some major transformation. Like we all, just as humans, we are. Get like 6 or 7 humans together and you just compounded all the fragility. You've compounded all the ways someone can transform in a way that really affects the group. And so that's kind of happening here. And I think that's just how I think of family. Like obviously I love primary relationships. When I say family, I don't just mean biological family. I mean the people who are there who help you shape your life and your allies and advocates and friends, and so it can be anyone of any stripe. And I find that to be, even when it's like there's just nothing but good intentions and people want to connect and people want to love and people go to therapy and people are, like want it to happen, it's still a very difficult thing to pull off, like positive connection sustained over time. There's always something going on that's like churning it or testing it or wrestling it apart, right? So
Mhm.
it's like, how do we just like surf all that? And I think that's kind of the way I think, right?
Mhm.
And so like even so the Jesse's dad, the Scoop McNairy characters, his bipolarness, I was trying to kind of make it like just a part of life, like not some radical, extreme, crazy thing that was happening to this family, but it's just like a thing that happens in all of our extended kith
Mhm.
groups, right? And to make it not, it's definitely serious what's going on. It's definitely painful. It's definitely disruptive. And it's just a part of normal life, you know?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't say that you've worked with some extraordinary actors over the last couple of films. I mean, obviously Ewan McGregor and
Mm-hmm.
Melanie Laurent and delay Christopher Plummer and Billy Crudup and Greta Gerwig
And
and Annette
Benning,
Bening,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
now you're working with
Al
Gabby,
Fanning.
Elle
Yeah.
Fanning, yes, and now you're working with Gabby and Joaquin. But safe to say that you might have found the biggest bar of gold a director could find in, I think, the find
Mm-hmm.
of the year in Woody Norman. I mean, when you saw the audition tape or met him and
Mm-hmm.
you saw the change from his American accent to back to his regular, were
Mm-hmm.
you as blown away that it was so easy and simple? Because as an audience member, I was like, okay, this kid, he probably grew
Yeah.
up somewhere in the country and he got to be in a Mike Mills movie. And then a friend of mine told me that he was British, and it blew my mind, made me
Yeah.
wonder why what we're doing as a society with American actors to be this good. But then he's going toe to toe with one of the great actors we have working today. So
Yeah.
can you speak a little bit about the discovery of him, and then what it was like when Joaquin met him on stage on
Yeah.
set, and how
Yeah.
that all played out?
So So when I first saw it, I got an audition tape and I'm like, oh, that kid's amazing. That kid's really interesting. And he hasn't fully revealed how amazing he is quite yet because it's just a self tape.
Mhm.
Can he come in? Oh, he's in London. Oh, he's an American kid on vacation in London. No, he lives there. Oh, he's an American kid who lives in London. No, he's British and lives in London. So I was like, what the fuck? Like I was completely like everyone else, kind of blown away. And then he comes and he does that American accent without a voice coach or anything. Like he originally developed it with a voice coach for another job that he didn't get like years ago.
Okay.
But he just has it. And so he did all that. We didn't have a voice coach through the whole shoot.
My
So he just like
gosh.
pops in, but he's also, it's not like method. Like when I say cut, he speaks in London accent again.
Mhm.
And so that's just kind of the smallest part. The thing I find a deeper kind of like magic or talent or luck or bar of gold is that it's hard to describe, but like, so Woody is very available, incredibly articulate, super sharp, super funny, um, and what, just like kind of brilliant young person, right? But the thing that's amazing, somehow, I don't know if it's just in his soul or if it's his mom, Vonda, helped him find this. He doesn't perform for the camera. He doesn't perform. And even when we do a Q&A with an audience, he's not being like super performative for the audience. He's telling you everything he thinks in a way that's like very laid bare. But he doesn't like angle towards the camera. He doesn't perform. And that's gold. That's really gold when someone's just being and not like trying to like indicate or prove or show or shove or and that really fit actually with Joaquin. It's very Joaquin's way. So when they first met, I think the thing that really cinched it is Joaquin can come up with any one liner. Woody's like right back, whoosh, like just has it right there.
Yeah.
And so the three of us are like, okay, cool. like that's, I don't know, just, and me and Joaquin really like love to laugh and kind of, I think that's why I got him in this films, because we just like laughed together a lot and had a good time. And Woody is his own version of that a bit. Like Woody just has, like Joaquin said something like jokingly, we're doing a photo line, something, Joaquin's, oh, I hate myself. And Woody said, I would too. Just like that, like no gap. How funny is that? I mean, and of course said with love, because they always are razzing each other and they love to play. So yeah, and Woody didn't really blink about being with Joaquin. I don't know exactly how he pulled that off, to be honest. I don't know why he didn't get nervous.
Yeah. No, I mean it shows because it's just like, my God, he's the guy just won an Oscar. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
here
yeah.
comes this kid and he's just like going toe to toe
Wasn't
with him. And it's not about the award or anything. It's just like, man, they
yeah,
fit so well. Like you can
yeah,
tell, like by the end of it, I was watching, I was like, my God, this is like a family because Gabby fits perfectly with Joaquin
yeah.
too. Is this
Yeah.
relationship that sort of
I love that
blossoms.
casting. I do have to say, I thought I really nailed it with that casting. Like they really
No,
are,
you
they
did.
really are so familiar and familial, and they felt like that to each other, and just even deeper. Like when they hang out, they act like brother and sister. Like when we're hanging out doing press or something, like they get into it like brother and sister. Um, yeah, it's a lot about Joaquin. So like Joaquin is not about that he won an Oscar ever, right?
No,
And,
no.
or anything like that. And he's so unpretentious and so about getting out of any of that kind of talk. So that's not what you meet or see at all or feel. You're just someone who's big goofball, loves to play, and who was a child actor and kind of knows what Woody's going through, and got really into like reacting to Woody, responding to Woody, letting Woody kind of take charge, because Woody does have his own ideas, and Woody does take scenes in directions that I couldn't predict even while doing my lines.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought that was super interesting and smart of Joaquin, and it fit the character, like it fit what's happening to the character. And then we did shoot in order, so their relationship is growing. Like they start in Los Angeles, they go to New York. We all do, and we went to New Orleans. So by the time we're shooting in New Orleans, it's like 2 months later. They've been hanging out every day, and they just like leaning on each other, hold each other's hands, make fun of each other all day long. And so it really helped.
Yeah. I just love that you jump from place to place and they
Mm,
feel so organic in there. And then there's this beautiful score that's playing throughout this film.
mm,
This is one of the best films of the year. I'm so glad that I got to talk to you about this, and
Yeah,
and I wish you all the best. I hope this everyone sees this in whatever
that's
way
so
they
nice.
can,
That's so nice.
and I hope that you have a safe holidays with your family.
Yeah, same to you. Hope you have a good holiday. Yeah.